Have you ever reached for your phone to look up an actor's name? Or maybe you have forgotten a simple recipe you once knew by heart. These small moments of forgetting are happening more often. We find ourselves standing in a room, unsure why we walked in. We struggle to recall a friend's phone number, a number we used to dial without a second thought. Our devices are always there to help. They hold our appointments, they hold our contacts, they hold our memories. But this reliance comes with a hidden cost. We are outsourcing our memory to these powerful little machines. The scene is familiar to almost everyone. A family sits around a dinner table, but they are not talking to each other. Their faces are lit by the blue glow of their screens. A student in a lecture hall types notes into a laptop. Their mind is somewhere else, lost in a sea of open tabs and notifications. We capture every moment of our lives, birthdays, vacations, and we store them in the cloud. These digital photo albums are vast and perfectly organized. Yet, we rarely look back at them. We used to navigate new cities with paper maps, carefully planning our routes. Now, a calm voice from our GPS tells us where to turn. We don't need to pay attention to landmarks. We don't need to pay attention to street names. We simply follow the instructions. Now our phones remind us of birthdays. Now our phones autofill our passwords. We remember less because we rely on our machines more. This simple fact raises a profound question about our future. As we lean more heavily on our digital assistants, are we weakening the most powerful tool we possess? Is the constant stream of information and distraction preventing our brains from forming deep, lasting memories? What does this mean for the future of the human mind? Not long ago, our brains were the primary keepers of our personal information. We held phone numbers, addresses, important dates inside our minds. Today, we have outsourced this crucial function. Our smartphones have become our external brains. Think about how you find information. Before, you might have gone to a library, consulted an encyclopedia. Now, we just ask Google. This process is known as cognitive offloading. It is the act of using an external tool to reduce the cognitive demands on our brain. This frees up our mental resources for other tasks. On the surface, this seems like a clear benefit, but it also means we are exercising our memory muscles less. By consistently relying on our devices, we are sending a clear signal to our brains. This type of memory is no longer essential. The neural pathways may weaken over time from disuse. Functions like autofill and autosuggest are prime examples. Your device predicts what you want to say. It finishes your sentences. Consider navigating a city. Using a paper map required a deep level of engagement. Today, GPS handles all of that for us. We arrive at our destination efficiently, but often with no real memory of the journey. This reliance creates what some experts call digital amnesia. It is the experience of forgetting information that you trust your digital device to store for you. In classrooms, students with laptops can transcribe a lecture word for word without processing its meaning. The focus shifts from understanding and internalizing concepts to simply capturing them. Our personal histories are also moving from the physical to the digital realm. Generations past kept their memories in shoeboxes. Today, our memories live in the cloud. This abundance may be devaluing the memories themselves. We trust that the memories are saved, but we rarely take the time to revisit them in a meaningful way. To understand how technology might be changing our memory, we first need to understand how memory works. It is a complex process broken down into 3 fundamental stages. It all begins with encoding. The quality of encoding depends heavily on our attention. If you are distracted, information won't be encoded strongly. Once encoded, it moves to storage. Short-term memories last only seconds. For information to last, it must be transferred into long-term storage, a more permanent and stable archive. The final stage is retrieval, recalling a stored memory. This is what we call remembering. Each successful retrieval strengthens the neural pathways, making recall easier in the future. The journey from a fleeting thought to a durable memory is a process called consolidation. It is the brain's method of stabilizing a memory trace after it is first acquired. Our brains do some of their most important memory work when we are not actively trying to learn. This includes periods of rest, quiet reflection, and, most importantly, sleep. Ultimately, forming a strong memory requires deep processing. This means thinking about the meaning of the information and linking it to things you already know. While we often think of forgetting as a failure, it is actually a crucial and adaptive feature. It clears out irrelevant information to make room for what truly matters. Our digital environment is engineered for distraction. Every buzz, ping, and notification is a deliberate attempt to capture our most valuable resource, our attention. Each time we switch our attention, we pay a cognitive price. This state of continuous partial attention is devastating for memory formation. The content we consume becomes a fleeting stream of data that washes over us without ever being properly encoded. We might scroll through dozens of articles, but at the end of the day, we retain very little. This cognitive fragmentation is not just a minor annoyance, it actively rewires our neural circuits. We are conditioning ourselves for a mode of thinking that is broad and shallow, rather than deep and reflective. This pattern extends to our most basic cognitive skills. The decline in memorizing phone numbers. GPS overuse. Younger generations struggling with mental math. Studies on GPS overuse are particularly telling. Neuroscientists found that the brain region critical for spatial memory, the hippocampus, shows significantly less activity when we blindly follow navigation. By not exercising our spatial memory, we may be neglecting a core system that our brain also uses to organize the narrative of our lives. We engage in a form of intellectual foraging, grabbing a fact when we need it, and then quickly discarding it. The information is available, but it never becomes our own. This brings us to the central, unsettling question. Is our constant reliance on technology genuinely making our brains weaker? Some researchers argue yes. If memory is like a muscle, then consistently avoiding the heavy lifting of memorization could lead to atrophy. The neural pathways become less efficient. However, an alternative viewpoint suggests that we are not getting weaker, but that our intelligence is being reorganized. This theory proposes that we are extending our minds. Our brain's primary task shifts from storing information to knowing where to find it. Our biological memory, then, is freed up to focus on higher-order cognitive functions, critical thinking, creative problem-solving, and synthesizing ideas. The fear remains. This adaptation could go too far, leaving us vulnerable and helpless when our technology inevitably fails. Despite the tide of digital amnesia, a powerful counter-movement is emerging. People are actively seeking ways to strengthen their minds, built on a simple principle. The brain, like any muscle, benefits from exercise. Memory athletes don't have genetically superior brains. Instead, they use ancient techniques to leverage the brain's powerful spatial and visual memory systems. This involves associating information with locations along a familiar mental journey. While you may not need to memorize a deck of cards, these principles can be used to remember a speech or key concepts for an exam. Spaced repetition is another scientifically backed method. Digital tools, ironically, can be excellent partners, using technology not as a crutch, but as a training partner in our personal cognitive gym. Perhaps the most crucial strategy is the conscious decision to unplug and reclaim our attention. Practices like meditation and mindfulness are powerful antidotes. They train the brain to control its focus and be more aware of the present moment. Rediscovering the joy of deep reading is another vital part of the memory revival. This sustained engagement is a powerful workout for your memory and imagination. Ultimately, the memory revival is about finding a healthier balance. It is about recognizing that our brains thrive on challenge. The digital age has placed us at a profound crossroads. Technology is a powerful amplifier, a tool that reshapes our cognitive habits. The future of our memory is not predetermined by our technology, but will be shaped by the choices we make. We are not passive victims in this technological shift. Technology will keep evolving, but so can we, if we choose to strengthen the most powerful memory device we'll ever own, the human brain.